Okay everybody, this is mooneydashcam. Today we're in Harlem. We're going to be going over the recent murder of an old-time drug kingpin, Alpo Martinez. He was very big in the crack trade in the 80s and 90s. He had like a drug empire out here. They estimated he made about $1 billion in total. A lot of the times that kind of stuff is overinflated, but you can only go by what you hear, you know. A little bit of backstory on him. He started dealing drugs at 13 in Harlem. Mostly dealt with crack. His community kind of turned on him when he killed one of his buddies, his close friend, who he says he loved very much, Rich Porter, which was actually documented in the 2002 movie Paid in Full. Alpo was played by Cameron, the rapper and actor, I guess. And the movie was based on Rich Porter, his buddy's life. But he tells a story, it's actually on YouTube, you could probably find it, of when he killed him. He gets him in a van. He suspected him of taking some profits from his drug dealings, and obviously didn't like that. So he confronts him about it, and he suspects that his friend's lying. He gets him in a van, and once he realizes he's lying, he gives like the signal to his buddy in the back. Buddy stands up and shoots him 2 times with a .357. He said he was dead, you know, he heard his last breath and everything. Then he keeps him in the van, you know, keeps him in the seat, drives to City Island in the Bronx. I'll add a picture of City Island. It's kind of an odd area in the Bronx. It's not really like any other spots. And pulls off to the side and goes to dump his body. Tells his buddy to get the body out of the car and put it in the woods. And his buddy wasn't big enough to move Rich Porter, so he actually had to get out and move him. And as he moved him, he made some noise. So he took his friend's gun and put another bullet in his head, dragged him into the woods, and then that was later found out that happened. But yeah, after he got out of jail, he actually told the story in full. Like I said, his community kind of turned on him when he did that, and they also turned on him more when he cooperated and testified against people, and he confessed to 14 murders, testified against his hitman that was in Washington, D.C., his hitman / enforcer, Wayne Anthony Perry, and got him arrested. A guy named Kevin Chiles, who was another Harlem drug guy, likened him to Ted Bundy, how he was like a crazy killer, but also a very super likable guy. Which I don't know how much Ted Bundy was a likable guy, but apparently that's the case. That's what the guy said. So, pulling up close. I'm going to overshoot the block and then turn around to go the exact route. Ooh, did I make the light? Let me know in the comments. Yeah, I'm going to overshoot the route a little bit and then come back down so we can do the exact thing that he did. But yeah, so he gets out of jail in 2015. Like I said, he got arrested in 1991, November 7th. Gets out of jail in 2015 after cooperating. He ended up doing 24 years total, being tied up in the system. And gets out, and he has a fake identity. What is the fake identity? Abraham Rodriguez. And he's living in Maine. But he's hanging around Harlem a lot, which is odd because when you go into witness protection, you don't want to be around the guys that you possibly ratted on or killed their family and stuff like that. But he kind of assumed that everyone that he did stuff to was old. Everyone that he ratted on or killed or whatever, they're all 60, you know, who's going out at 16 killing people. But little does he know, those people have families that still live in this community. So they didn't find the person who did it. They're suspecting it could have been a family member of an old guy that he either ratted on or killed, or there are rumors floating around, totally just rumors, that it was over a girl, that he was involved with some guy's girl, and the guy kind of confronted him. They like went back and forth a little bit. He ended up getting shot up and killed in a drive-by. You would think though that you'd stay out of this life. I don't know. I don't know the mentality of some of these guys. You know what? I'm gonna make this turn from the middle lane. I'll wait for the light. I don't want to hear it in the comments. So yeah, the shooting started around Fredrick Douglas Boulevard and West 151st, West 152nd. And then the car ended up stopping West 147th. Now, when the cops pulled up to the scene, they found baggies of what they thought was heroin all over the road. So they suspect that in his moments before he died, he had a bunch of heroin in his car, and he was dumping it out the window because he knew the cops were going to show up eventually. Which is kind of crazy to think about, like the frantic moments of what you think of after you get shot. He got shot 5 times, 5 or 6 times. He got shot in the chest, chin, and left arm. So he was actually shot in the face. Imagine getting shot that many times, still being in the panic of maybe knowing you're about to die, knowing cops are coming, tossing drugs out the window. Kind of a wild scene to imagine. I know there's a lot of people that love to imagine that because he put a lot of pain into this community, not only with selling drugs, but with ratting and everyone involved and testifying against people. You know, that's against the code of the street. So we're going to be turning to where this took place. Yeah, the police showed up around 3:30 a.m. after. There's actually devices. I learned this from reading articles. There's devices that detect gunshots. So they got the word. They probably suspect it happened around 3:20 a.m. They got there at 3:30 and tried to figure everything out. I'll add all the pictures. He was in a 2017 Dodge Ram, nice red lifted truck, wheels and everything, cool looking truck. Got shot through the driver's side window. After he gets shot, he drives a little bit. We're gonna go the exact path that happened. Okay, so we're turning onto Fredrick Douglas Boulevard right now. Right now we're on West 153rd. And this happened between 152nd and 151st. So once we cross over this block, this is probably where he got caught up, right here, just 2 weeks ago, which is crazy. Like, I'm gonna go to the exact spot that all this went down. He was also a very loved in the rap and hip hop community. He was in at least like 18 songs. So right here, he probably got pulled up on and shot up. He drives even farther than this spot. So he gets shot here 5 times and keeps driving as he's throwing drugs out the window, right? Driving and driving, and he ends up stopping. He actually ends up crashing into the back of a car. I'll tell you where. This is a long time to be driving while you have 5 shots in you, especially one in your chin, you know? He ends up, oh, of course, this is where the cops are. Oh no, it's the next block. Nice. No, still cops. See, as I was saying, he was very loved in the hip-hop and rap community. He was in at least 18 songs. Just gonna throw out some names here of people who made songs and mention him. Nas, The Game, 50 Cent, Jay-Z, Future, Drake, Meek Mill, Pusha T, Lil Boosie. They didn't know who he was at the time because the ID that was found on him was of Abraham Rodriguez. This right here, right where this guy is sweeping, I'm not going to get in the way of his sweeping, but right where he is sweeping is where the truck was pulled up. About right here, where my truck is pretty much where his truck was when it was shot up. He was shot in the lower side of this window right here. You'll see the background. It's exactly where it all went down. You see the area. So he comes down the street, crashes into a car that's over here, wrecks the front of his car. You'll see there's a flatbed, picture of a flatbed taking his car away. It's a crazy area. kind of fitting that he ends up getting killed in the area that he did most of his crimes. But yeah, that is pretty much everything I have to tell you about the murder of Alpo Martinez. Crack kingpin of the 80s and 90s, who made a lot of money, became a rat, and got killed for it. See you in the next one.